This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
I always enjoy new Svarim, new Chidushim, and this morning one of the eminent Rosh Yeshiva from my neighborhood, Rabbi Mordechai Kamnetzky, Rosh Yeshiva of Yeshivas Taras Chaim, brought me his new kuntras, a perush on Megillah Esther, and I would like to share a few ha'aros, nefla'os from this new kuntras, and perhaps we can add a few humble insights as well. The Megillah tells us that the way the Suda of Achashveirosh was established was v'hashsiya chadas einoines. The drinking was kadas. What does it mean, kadas? So the Gemara in Megillah explains that kadas means kedas shel Torah. The Gemara says on Daf Yud Beis, Amar Rab Chanan Mishem Rabbi Meir, kedas shel Torah. What does it mean, kedas shel Torah? Achila meruba mishtia, more food than drink. The Gemara doesn't say how we know that kedas shel Torah more achila than shasiya. And in this perush, Maamar Mordechai from Harav Kamenetsky, he brings from the Yalkut Shimoni that the source that kedas shel Torah achila is more than shasiya is, we learn it out from the Korbanos. Par ushloisha esroinim soiles for achila, and neisech chatziahin. So from there we learn out achila meruba mishtia, which is very interesting. So this is not just the Torah's health advice is more food than drink, but it's, so to speak, a din in Korbanos. So what Achashveirosh is establishing his Su'uda in the formula that is created by the Dinei Korbanos? What does Achashveirosh's Su'uda have to do with Dinei Korbanos? Why would he even consult the Torah in the first place? So I always understood that the Torah is, so to speak, like health advice, but the Medrash tells us that the source of this protocol is from the Korbanos. Why is Achashveirosh establishing his Suda based on the Korbanos? Furthermore, in Pasuk Yadal, the Pasuk says, "Ve'hakaroi ve'lahav kashna shesar masasar shesmar smarsna mimuchan," and the Gemara says on Daf Yud Beis Rab Levi, this whole Pasuk could be darshaned based on Korbanos. Karshna, the angel said to Hashem, Ribbono shel Olam, did they ever bring before you Karim b'nei Shana, like Klal Yisrael did? Shesar, did they ever bring 2 turtle doves? Admasa, did they ever create and build a Mizbeach Adama? Tarshish, did they ever serve before you with Bigdei Kahuna? Meres, did they ever mix the dam? Marsna, did they ever mix the menachos? Memuchan, did they ever make a shulchan? Okay, interesting. So this Perush asks, do we ever find anywhere else that all of a sudden the Malachi Asharis chime in when any other officer or minister makes a Suda? What are they doing? Do they learn Torah? Do they put on tefillin? Do they wear tzitzis? Or do they bring Korbanos? Why all of a sudden by the Suda of Achashveirosh, the Malachi Asharis jump in and they argue to Hashem, no. This is not the way Korbanos are done. Or did they ever bring Korbanos? Why is it relevant that Achashveirosh never brought Korbanos? So apparently from here we see that Korbanos was an essential aspect of the program of Achashveirosh. How so? So in this new kuntras, the idea is brought, but what I would like to share with you is to refer you to what we learned in a previous year from the Medrash Talpios from Rabbi Yehuda HaKohen of Izmir, who brings in his entry to the words Bigdei Kahuna, that he points out a davar nifla, that if you count up Chur, Karpasus Chelas, Achuz B'chavlei Vutz, V'argaman, Glilei Chesef, Amudei Sheish, Mitoy Zahav V'chesef, he puts Zahav V'chesef together, it's all under the rubric of Mitoys, Ritzbas Bad, V'sheish, V'dar, V'seichares, V'kelem. 13 things. Why 13 things? Keneged the 13 ingredients of the Mishkan. So what Achashveirosh is calculating that his party should come from 13 items, Keneged the Mishkan. So the Shevet Musar, the Baal Shevet Musar, in the Sefer Medrash Talpios, brings an idea, and we explained it based on the teachings of the Nesivos in his commentary to Megillah Esther and in his commentary to Chumash, that Zelu Mazeh Asalikim, whatever Hashem created in the world, L'Kedusha, there is an opposing force, L'Tama. So if there's something called Yerushalayim, then in Migdal Bavel, they made an ear to counteract Yerushalayim. And if there's something called a Mikdash, they made a Migdal to counteract that. Likewise, Achashveirosh was trying to counteract the Beis HaMikdash. And the Medrash Talpios says the reason is, we know the Beis HaMikdash gave stability to the world. It solidified the world. Vayihi b'yom hakim Moshe es ha-mishkan. The Medrash says that the whole world was solidified with the construction of the Mishkan. Therefore, Achashveirosh knew that if the construction of the Beis HaMikdash upheld the world, it laying in ruins will ruinate and will contaminate the whole world. That was the kavana of Achashveirosh. That is how the Sefer Medrash Talpios explains it. In this Parish Maamar Mordechai, he says it with a slightly different oifen, that Achashveirosh, so to speak, wanted to create a new mikdash, or a new makom tuma, to counteract the Beis HaMikdash. That's why Achashveirosh is always focused on ad chatzi hamalchus v'seyas. I'll give you whatever you want, just not the Beis HaMikdash, because the whole objective of Achashveirosh was to uproot and counter the Beis HaMikdash. And that, as the Medrash Talpios suggests, and as it's suggested in this commentary as well, Maamar Mordechai, that was the kavan of Achashveirosh. By putting on the Big Day Kahuna, he was counteracting the force of Kedusha called Mikdash and Big Day Kahuna, and as the Medrash Talpios says, that's why his party consisted of 13 things. So this commentary, Maamar Mordechai, suggests that was the kavan of Achashveirosh, v'hashsiya chadas. He also established protocol in the way this party was established, namely more food than drink, to counteract the holy effects of the protocol of Korbanos, to uproot that, to destroy that. Achashveirosh also demanded that at his party, it's v'hashsiya chadas, there was protocol l'tuma, so to speak, at his party. And that's the reason the Maamar Mordechai suggests why Achashveirosh was challenged by the Malachi Asharis, and they said, Rebbeinu Shalom, this is a joke. They cannot match up to the avodas hakedusha of Korbanos. Why is that? Karshna. They never offered fattened cows before you. Klum ikriv lanecha karim b'nei shana. Did they ever offer before you shtei toirin? The kavana is they never counteract the forces of kedusha that Klal Yisrael established in their avodas hakarbanos. Klum banu mizbeach adama, klum shimshu bebigdei kahuna, klum mirsu bedam. In other words, Achashveirosh, he's just a beginner, he's a rookie, he's just a novice at this. But in no way could he match up in his koyach hatuma against the force of kedusha of the Mishkan, of the Mikdash, and particularly of the avodas hakarbanos. So these ha'arais, namely why the party was kedash al Torah, which is learned out from the Korbanos, and why the Malachi Hashares challenged what Achashveirosh was doing, is understood in light of what we've learned from the Medrash Talpios, namely the whole objective of Achashveirosh was to counteract the force of Kedusha of the Beis HaMikdash. And that's why Achashveirosh was always focused on Ad Chatzi HaMalchus V'Seyas. Wishing everyone a Freilichen Purim Haba Aleinu L'Taiva.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.